King of Kings.
Blindspot, Gunshot, das Plankton in dem Brand. Gangster Schwammkopf mit der Gun. Blindspot.
Is geoengineering real? ABC Channel 7 Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger recently made the following statements on the air, which were recorded by geoengineeringwatch.org.
And geoengineering is indeed a real study. It's a real thing that is being conducted in many different ways. Geoengineering, which is legitimate and real and not dangerous, at least chemical-wise.
While publicly admitting to the geoengineering reality, ABC Channel 7 Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger claims to know that the chemicals being used are not dangerous. Geoengineeringwatch.org would like to ask this of you, Mr. Kruger. How exactly are you able to come to such a conclusion, given the fact that countless lab tests from all over the globe have proven highly toxic climate engineering elements like aluminum, barium, strontium, and polymer fibers are in fact raining down through the atmosphere, toxic elements which we are all inhaling with each and every breath we take?
And geoengineering is indeed a real study. It's a real thing that is being conducted in many different ways. Geoengineering, which is legitimate and real and not dangerous, at least chemical-wise, legitimate and real and not dangerous, at least chemical-wise.
Are we to believe ABC Channel 7 Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger's assurance that geoengineering is, quote, not dangerous, even though all available data says otherwise? Of course not. All of us are needed in the battle to sound the alarm. We must all make every day count. Share credible data from a credible source. This is Dane Wigington with geoengineeringwatch.org.
This is extremely important, especially those living in Queensland and New South Wales. As you would have heard and seen for yourself as you look around, things are very, very dry and a major fire risk. But throughout media, there is one thing that is not being mentioned. Myself, I have heard numerous times that the fire threat this year will be bad because of the debris from the floods. That may be part of the problem, but there is a bigger, far more serious problem than the debris. Not so long ago, there was an article in the Courier Mail with a fireman at Crow's Nest once again mentioning the flood debris. And this article, there was a photo. A fireman crouched down amongst the long brown grass with a sky background. I must say it was a good photo, but if only they had looked up and looked into the sky, they would have seen the problem, a very serious problem. For those of you that may have seen this photo, did you pick up or notice a cloud in the sky? That was no normal cloud. That is a haze of crap caused by chemtrails. If you know nothing of chemtrails, please start looking for yourself. Even here on my YouTube channel, DJM Skin Art, you will find info. The ingredients in these clouds can vary. One ingredient is aluminium oxide. A few years ago you may have seen the news on the fires in California. Absolutely devastating fires. To the untrained eye you could see how intense, how ferocious and how fast moving these fires were, and worst of all, how they struggled to fight them. Even recently, look at Spain, look at Russia. It was a mirror image of the California fires. Why were these fires so extreme? What they had found was a quantity of aluminium amongst the bark of these trees, which can explain why these fires were so out of control. And there's a good chance these nano-sized particles may absorb some of the aviation fuel. People, this is extremely important. Prepare yourselves, prepare your property, take this and take the advice from the authorities extremely seriously. Your life will depend on this. Myself, I don't live near bushland and forests, but I do fear for you all who live amongst bushland and forest. Just last night, after watching a news report to do with the fire risk once again, it was the talk of the flood debris. I went down to the local fire station just to ask if they realise the huge risk with the chemtrail fallout, and the fireman I spoke to didn't know what I was talking about, and worst thing, he didn't even want to know, even after I offered him a DVD that explains this crap. He just told me to write a letter to his boss. I was gobsmacked. This bloke should know, or at least just take the time to watch or listen. So that is why I'm doing this clip. I care for people in surrounds. This is a very serious problem with not many people aware of what is being sprayed in the air. People unaware of what has been sprayed in the sky and very unaware of the consequences. People, be 100% on the lookout, especially with lightning strikes. To those smokers that flick your butts out the window, you have to stop it. Think of the consequences, think of the people travelling the same piece of road. How would you feel knowing it may have been your butt that incinerated hundreds of people and gutted a town or suburb? It's time to think, it's time to stay alive. People, this is serious.
lives and destroying thousands of properties. Now they've been identified as a possible terror weapon by Al-Qaeda. US correspondent Angela Cox joins me now. Hello, Angela. Australia has been specifically mentioned in this publication.
Yes, that's right. And Al-Qaeda magazine, published in English online, is urging followers to start bushfires as another form of terrorism.
Danger at this hour. The firefight underway as we come on the air. The deadly fire doubling in size in just the last 24 hours. 2 firefighters have now been killed. The car fire in Northern California sweeping through neighborhoods. More than 100 homes and buildings now destroyed. That wind and heat with the fire blowing out windows and fire trucks. The fire destroying street after street, and you can see homes burning really on both sides of the street there. The fire and smoke spinning into what looks like a tornado, a fire whirl. Waves of people forced to evacuate already in this, and word of that hospital also getting patients out. It's only growing at this hour, and the fire chief says his crew is battling the flames while they mourn the deaths of 2 of their own already. ABC's Kayla Whitworth on the scene in Redding tonight.
Tonight, a deadly line of flames scorching a city of 90,000 people. The car fire burning a hole through Redding, California.
Got about a 100-foot wall of flame coming down onto the very south end of Snow Lane.
Residents forced out after the fire jumped the Sacramento River. Roads choked with cars trying to escape. The sky full of flames.
It's jumping the street.
One hospital evacuating its neonatal unit, and even a shelter had to evacuate after flames got too close. Our affiliate, KRCR, forced to flee mid-broadcast.
And right now we're being evacuated.
The fire, fueled by high winds and triple-digit temperatures, overpowering crews.
30-year veterans who've been doing this all of their life have never seen fire behavior like this.
Those winds creating fire tornadoes.
Wow.
Strong enough to blow out the windows of emergency vehicles. 2 firefighters losing their lives.
You know, the struggle now is we're mourning as we battle.
3 more firefighters and several civilians suffering serious burns. Daylight revealing the destruction. Gas lines hissing in neighborhoods. More than 100 homes and structures damaged or destroyed.
I drove up before my mom and dad, and this is what I saw, their house flat.
Aaron Clark's parents' home reduced to its foundation.
Everything we've ever owned. The pictures, everything. Everything.
And in Southern California, the Cranston fire burning more than 11,000 acres. Our Will Carr is there.
The Cranston fire's path of destruction is extensive. At least 6 homes have been destroyed. Take a wide look. This home burned to the ground. The only thing still standing, that gun case and the chimney in the corner.
More than 1,300 firefighters battling that blaze. Officials say it was deliberately set.
And Kana with us live tonight from Redding. Kana, 37,000 people already evacuated, and there could be more evacuations coming.
Yeah, David, part of the reason so many people are in danger is because of these extreme and erratic winds that are violently pushing the fire through these neighborhoods. Look at this. All that's left standing here is this garage door, and you can still see the fire smoldering back there, but the winds are also bringing down trees like this one. And firefighters I spoke with say they've never seen fire behavior quite like this. They're calling it unprecedented. David?
Just a disastrous scene there behind you, Keenan. Thank you.
Yeah, and as Keenan mentioned, David, those winds making things so difficult for firefighters, and the heat barely relenting. The core of the heat dome, check it out, has shifted a little bit farther to the east, but still triple-digit heat again across the fire zone, and it will rebuild. We've got more watches and warnings posted. The Northwest is going to heat up again Sunday and Monday, so it is not going away anytime soon. Severe weather again across the high plains. Some tornado warnings issued for Colorado, and big storms rumbling to the northeast right now. Severe watch up there till 10 o'clock as that front slowly moves through a rough Friday evening commute.
My personal opinion is that we have to keep geoengineering on the table. We have to look at it very carefully because we might get desperate enough to want to use it. The danger, of course, with geoengineering is one I was referring to a moment ago. We don't understand the system well enough to predict its responses in detail.
All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the shaky camera. My hands are a little bit shaky right now and I'm just holding it with my phone. This is what happens when you ball mill and you go too long without opening the container. This was 1 pound of aluminum that had been ball milling for about 20 days. In the last 5 days or so, I wasn't able to get to it to open it and let it get exposed to air.
And that means there's always a danger, if you try to engineer the system on a large scale, that you will do something that has side effects that are worse than the dimension of the problem you're trying to cure.
More than 2,000 firefighters have been struggling to deal with 100 blazes, half of which are out of control. Some of those volunteer firefighters have seen their own homes destroyed.
Hey everybody, we're down at the Imagination Station. Carl's already instructed me to put on the safety glasses and he's already firing up the flames here. What are we doing today?
We're going to talk about combustion.
Okay, one of your favorites.
3 things you need for combustion at the most basic level. You need fuel, you need flame, and you need oxygen.
Check, check, check.
Okay, quick example, go ahead and light that balloon on fire over there.
Boy.
Balloon is filled with hydrogen gas. Bring it really close, down below.
Oh no.
Okay,
I
perfect.
don't like that one.
I know.
Okay.
But it's good to see what we're talking about. We're talking about combustion,
Yeah.
right? It's the 3 things you
Things
need.
that go boom. Got it.
Now that was a gas, right? Now,
Sure.
this summertime, if you're outside trying to light a campfire or something like that, you're not dealing with gases per se, you're dealing with like solid stuff. And one of the things, besides those 3 things, fuel, flame, and oxygen, surface area plays an important role in how you can get something to combust. Okay, a little bit of math here, a little bit of math. Come over closer. So I've got some blocks here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this face has an area of 4, and there are 6 sides. 6 times 4 is?
24.
24. Now, think of this as a block of wood that I'm trying to light on fire. If I were to break it up, okay?
Sure.
Now I've got 8 blocks. Each block has 6 sides. 6 times 8 is?
48.
48. We've doubled the surface area just by making a cut on each face.
Really? See, I would think initially, oh, maybe it's easier.
Well, yeah, it all comes down to that surface area, whether it's chemical reactions, whether you're throwing Alka-Seltzer in water. If you crumble up that tablet as a powder and throw it in water, it fizzes dramatically.
Sure.
So the single tablet in, it's kind of plop, plop, fizz, fizz.
Yeah, okay.
A little slower. So surface area plays a big role, and I can show you sort of a dramatic example of that with this container of really fine powder.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to take this teeny tiny little torch here, or lighter, and we'll just spray a little in there.
Wow.
All right, so step aside for just a second. Let me show you.
Wow. You're lighting like the line on fire.
Right. The powder actually continues to combust even after it leaves that ignition source, okay? And it combusts so dramatically because it's so fine.